Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Yes, indeed. Streborama coming at your earlobes once again. We're going to tickle your brain feathers and try to make you think in ways that you never wanted to. Today we are undertaking our civic duty by performing the review for one of the most anticipated shows in C-Dub's fall lineup. Yes, we're talking about Batwoman, which, according to various garbage tier pop news sites, is being neg-bombed for its lesbian lead. I'm not even going to touch on that in this particular Sermon on the Mount. For today, I am going to offer you my unbiased, unadulterated review of C-Dub's Batwoman. Puntain power. Now I'm going to say right off the bat.
Crows.
Gotta mute that or else I'll get a strike on my channel. So I'm going to say right off the bat that the show itself is much less, it has much less of a political agenda than the actual trailer had. The trailer, the way it was cut, was just horrible. I mean, they kind of multiplied the Puntain powerness of it all to the nth degree and just made it horrifying for anybody that, isn't looking for that sort of virtue signaling. So I was at work. I figured, well, I'll watch this since I'm a captive audience anyway. Here are my random thoughts. Number one, Alice is not scary. She shows up, stabs somebody, and then everybody in this freaking assembly just starts running like a bomb went off. Ah! They're just running back and forth. Dogs and cats living together. Mass chaos. It's like, really? You got all these guys running? Two of them couldn't have been like, hey, let's go punch this broad in the mouth and, end all this. It's like, okay. We're already in make-believe land. I find it interesting that millennials have no ability to suspend disbelief. They can't separate themselves from anything that they're viewing, that they have to participate in part of it, like everything is a riff track. And yet they have this amazing amount of disbelief when it comes to tiny females just tossing around men, like these women are all Andre the Giant throwing around, midget wrestlers or something. Okay, her cell phone is bigger than her head. Dialogue is horrible. Kate, it's me, Mary, your sister. Then Kate says, yeah, our parents have been married for over a decade. I know who you are. They can lampshade this, but it's still just bad writing. Like, really? You have to be that obvious about, hey, it's me, Mary, your sister. Who in the world calls a family member and says, hey, it's me, I'm your brother, remember me? I mean, come on. Bad writing. And there's some kind of bizarre crows organization. Number one, I hate that name. You don't need to talk about crows in a C-Dub show. Okay, there's only one crow. That was portrayed by Brandon Lee based on James O'Barr's graphic novel, The Crow. Okay, there have been sequels to that of varying degrees of success. But anyway, the crow's name is just stupid. I freaking hate it. How do they all know who Bruce Wayne is? Why do they all know Bruce Wayne was Batman? I don't get this. Maybe this is a C-Dub superhero series development that I'm just not aware of. I don't understand how that works. But really, so now Bruce Wayne as Batman is the worst kept secret in all of Gotham? Okay, so I think they say at one point that her cousin is Bruce Wayne. Okay, so her cousin is Bruce Wayne, but again, how does everybody know Bruce Wayne is Batman? Uh, Two, they show her in the military. Let's just be straight up. Her neck is too skinny to be in the military. It looks like Ruby Rose, who's portraying this character of Kate Kane, has never done athletics in her life. She looks like a model, which, I mean, she essentially is. There's no way she had any sort of military training. I mean, like, they can't cast a chick, a broad, according to Harley Quinn. We're supposed to call you broads. They can't cast a broad that's got, a little bit of muscle tone to her. They had to go with the heroin chic look for all of them. And I mean, look, Crazy Alice with a butterfly knife, maybe that was intimidating to somebody in 1984, but not today. Are you kidding me? The only way these kinds of broads are scary is if there's about 100 of them around you with baseball bats. But even then, a couple guys could just clear them out. Sorry, ladies, it's true. There's a reason that male-female sports are separated. Though I'm all for, I'm all for regulated, weight-matched classes. So if a 150-pound woman wants to fight a 150-pound man, go for it. But you're not going to sit here and tell me that a 110-pound little skinny neck, pencil necked chick like this is going to toss all these guys around. It's idiotic. So she's thrown out of the military for violating the code of contact, kissing lesbians. Apparently they do not like that in the military, or at least they did not when Kate Kane was a member. I've got a note here that Kate would make a very sexy Robin, because that's what she looks like to me. She looks like she's actually cosplaying. She's a female cosplayer cosplaying as Robin. Like she'd make a great Dick Grayson. She looks much more convincing as a Robin. I mean, these broads that want to portray themselves as masculine, you're not coming across as masculine to any sort of male. Any sort of male whose blood hasn't been replaced by soy transfusions. You're not intimidated, because men are used to dealing with men. Have you seen football? You ever noticed they don't have 90-pound tight ends out there running around? They're all of a fairly consistent large size. Yeah, some are larger than others. Some are smaller and more lithe than others. Okay, so, as a martial arts movie fan, they should modify their fight styles. I mean, yeah, you can have females fighting with men, but, man, modify the fight styles. Go watch some Yun Wu Ping or something. Watch how those Chinese choreographers do it. They'll give them female fighting techniques, striking, using their speed, striking weak areas, that sort of thing. Okay. So the little black kid that I thought was Alfred is not Alfred. His name is Luke. He's part of Wayne Security, and apparently he knows who Bruce Wayne is. He knows Bruce Wayne is Batman too. It's like, really? All these people. Then the password is Alfred. Oh, Alfred, Alfred. Ah, really, Alfred. Okay. And, of course, while we're watching it, they have to throw in the Birds of Prey trailer. It's just like an assault, a multimedia assault on your senses and your sensibilities all at once, as if watching the show itself was not enough. You have to sit through this marvelous Birds of Prey trailer. The emancipation of one Harley Quinn. This film is not yet rated. So Birds of Prey, my suggestion for the rating would be BS, which stands for some old bull S. Again, back to the fight scenes. They're choreographing her much more like she was a male, just pushing guys of her size around. I mean, yeah, show her fighting a 90-pound chick. Yeah, she's going to stiff-arm them. But, I mean, she's like grabbing guys with one hand and stiff-arming them back. I mean, really, that... I had this problem with Buffy the Vampire Slayer for a long time. So it was like, I liked watching the show. I was entertained by it, but the fights were always annoying. But because there was such a certain camp level to it, I could just kind of overlook the fact that, Buffy couldn't even make a proper fist without looking limp-wristed. So it took me a while to get over that. But they're trying to present this, as this grim and gritty, Dark Knight inspired superheroine, and it's just not working. You can't have her fighting like she is Batman. She's not a 220-pound man fighting with other 200-plus pound men. That's not how it works. That's not how physics works. Alice keeps quoting Alice in Wonderland, which is fine again, but she hasn't done anything to be intimidating to anyone in the entire show. She just shows up and people just start freaking out. Luke, you do seriously not want to know what's down there. So Kate, I have this thing with rules. The writing is pretty atrocious on all levels. I had this thing with rules. And what? I mean, there's not a single bit of clever wordplay. There is zero subtext. At least she doesn't come into every room, pushing open both doors and going, "Yo, I'm the lesbian, yo, what's up? Here to munch carpet and scissors with everybody." At least she doesn't do that. At least the actual writers of the show kept that as just part of her background. She's not 100% defined by it, okay? Now, mind you, Kate only appears because her one-time lesbian lover disappears. So she comes to Gotham to find out what happened, because all these men in the Crows organization are impotent. They're incapable of solving this on their own. Only a little chick on a bicycle can do it. Yeah, I mean, this show wants to be Batman Begins so badly. It wants to be the Dark Knight trilogy so badly. All of its influences are just firmly on its sleeve. And I mean, there are definitely worse things to aspire to, for certain. But it steals so much from the movies that it comes off as nothing more than derivative. At least the pilot is pretty painful to sit through. I mean, I know Ruby Rose said there are plenty of other shows out there for old white men. She should have said there are plenty of other shows out there for Batman fans. Anybody that's a fan of The Dark Knight, there's another show out there for you. Don't watch this one, because we're essentially going to use music that mimics Hans Zimmer's score from the Dark Knight trilogy, mimics in a poor fashion. They rip off camera angles, restage things from the film. Like, since she walks into the Bat Cave, the bats just swirl around her like magic, just like in the Dark Knight films. God, this darn junk mail, they just harass me endlessly. So Luke just follows along behind her, just shucking and jiving. Some real original writing for this guy. Yeah, don't push that. So, of course, she pushes it. I mean, is that what the extent of the writing is going to be? Just people just constantly tell her what to do, and she says, "Well, you're not the boss of me," and she just runs off and does it. That's why Bruce became Batman, to play by his own rules, to terrorize his enemies. At least at that point, that one line, it gave some insight into her mentality, and yeah, it really just seems to be kind of a person who's just rebelling just to rebel. So I guess there's room for growth for the Kate Kane character in that sense. Of course, that horrible line from the trailer's in it. "I need you to fix this suit." Luke says, "This suit is literal perfection," and she says it will be when it fits a woman. I mean, that's just horrible, stupid, idiotic virtue signaling on the part of the soy milk-based writers, soy writers. We did get a Joker teaser, at least. Film of the year, rated R. Is it really the film of the year? I don't know. Maybe old Strebo will review it for you. Thugs wearing these stupid pet masks like in The Purge, or We're Coming to Get You, Don't Go Out, Let Us In, whatever the name of all those stupid movies are. I mean, there's nothing at all intimidating about these guys. The girl keeps just pushing them all around. Yeah, and then she does the Batman trick where she shoots a cable around the guy's feet, and then he just zips into the air as if he was lifted by a 747 jet. Just, at least when Batman does that, you can assume, okay, he's using some weight and some counterbalance with his own weight and momentum to pull a guy up. She just zips a guy into the air and then just lightly drops onto the ground. It's like, oh, God, really? Little kid, Mommy, look, it's Batman. No, it looks like Batboy, more like it. Her head does look huge in that outfit, but I will say I don't have a problem with the way the outfit looks. They gave her a mouth because you have to have an open face piece on some of these adaptations. Otherwise, you get no emotional. You get no emotions from your lead character. You just have this blank mask, like Spider-Man, and obviously they can't do this on a TV show. They've got to open the mouth area for her. Yeah, I just really hated the whole Crows Protection Agency thing. Mainly, I just hate that stupid name. Hate the fact that they're all just impotent. That Kate just walks up and just answers all the mysteries in like half a second. So her ex-girlfriend gets married to a white dude. So apparently, Brody's theory from Mallrats that all lesbians need is some deep dick in to straighten them out is true. I mean, is that what they're saying here? I don't know. Maybe this is just a great fear for lesbians and that they're afraid that their lovers will get taken away from them by men. Now, to be fair, I have dated some chicks in the past that I was afraid would leave me for a broad, because you know how crazy broads are. Birds of a feather, they flock together. Never happened though. But anyway, so I mean, the show, the strengths and the weaknesses of the show all come from its reliance on all of the tropes and the color palette and the musical tone and the basic camera actions. Everything set up by the Dark Knight trilogy from director Christopher Nolan, music by Hans Zimmer. I mean, everything pretty much, it just mimics everything from the Dark Knight trilogy. And I mean, that's okay. That's fine, considering that stuff came out, 15 years ago now. Also considering the Arrow has already been mimicking Dark Knight for 9 years. So what does this show have to offer that's new to its viewers, aside from ridiculous fight scenes and Luke Water budget rental Batman action? It is it's a lesbian superhero. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's virtue signaling is what it has to offer, and it has determined that its target audience is just that only people who love the lead, those are the only people that care about watching this show. And everything about it has been made to cater to and pander to that specific audience. Because nutty chicks aren't crazy. Like I said, they're not scary. Aren't crazy. They're definitely crazy, but they're not scary. They're not intimidating. Only if they're in your bedroom hovering over you in the middle of the night with a pair of scissors. That's when they're scary. But outside of that context, nope, it's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. Okay, so that's my review. For Indie Film Reviews, coverage of Batwoman on the CW. I sat through the pilot episode, and now you can decide if you want to sit through it too, or if you'd like to move on. I don't know if I'll cover any more episodes in the future. We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, I can watch the CW superhero stuff. I'm, at least a nominal fan of all of them. But I cannot watch them every week. There's too much stupidity and just bland writing in most of them. So, yeah, I don't see myself getting pulled into this show too much over the long run. Though I'm curious to see where they go from here. There haven't really been any kind of iconic or canonical stories for the Batwoman character. So they're kind of free to create their own stories and create their own little world that they want to. They just have to kind of answer the questions of, well, where's Bruce Wayne? Where's Batman? Why does everybody know Bruce Wayne is Batman? And so on and so forth. Though I think they missed the ball in not having Harley Quinn be the main villain in this. They've got this Alice character who just comes off as a very pale imitation of Harley Quinn. But anyway, that's my review. 2 out of 5 stars. 4.5. 4.5 stars on the Striborama super scale. 4.5 out of 10, I'd say. So, yeah. So, about 2 stars, 2 out of 5, 4.5 out of 10, whichever scale you want to use. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it on Twitter. Share it with your friends. Follow me on Twitter. Join the conversation over on Facebook. And we'll keep bringing you more content just like this. Dare to be different. This is Indie Film Reviews. I make indie films. I review shit. Buy your copy of Tales from Mutantville today. Tell me how much you hate it. I'll love you that much more for it.